You do? Whoa. Well, hi and welcome to Preschool Story Time. Hello, friends. You love ice cream. I love ice cream too. I am so glad that you guys are here. It's Preschool Story Time, and I'm Miss Jessica, and I'm so excited to see each and every one of you. Before we get started, I wanted to do a few announcements. Oh, that's a really pretty bracelet. I wanted to do a few announcements. I have changed the story time game a little bit because I've been doing a lot of puppets. So I have started using the puppet theater, which is nice because it gives us room to spread out and dance if we want to. But we have to remember that when we're at story time, some of our friends are sitting and listening to the story. And if your body is having a hard time doing that and you want to stand up, you just have to make sure that there's nobody behind you. So I made a stand zone in these cones. So if your body is really feeling like, oh, I just can't sit any longer, or maybe you feel like dancing and there's a book being read and everybody else is sitting down, you can come over to the stand zone here. And when you stand, you can still see everything, but so can your friends who are sitting. Okay? Does that sound like a plan? It's okay if you forget. I just put this here just in case anybody's body was having a hard time sitting still. Because it's a long time sometimes to sit still when you're feeling excited or something was really funny. But this way we can work on being considerate to our other friends, right? So, do you guys get it? Stand zone. I've also added a memory box. So when we open the memory box, there's something in there that you have to remember because it's going to show up in one of our stories or songs. So when you see what's in the memory box show up in a song, you can say, there it is, I see it. Isn't that exciting? So you kind of have to watch closely because you don't want to miss the memory box, okay? I think one of my books fell down. Uh-oh. That's okay, I can pick it up. So, let's see. I told you guys about the stand zone. I told you about the memory box. Don't forget, on Saturdays at 10 o'clock, we have Super Saturdays. So be sure to check out what we've got going on because it's always something exciting. I think last week was free play. And I think this weekend is a magician. So that's really cool. A magician is going to be in the Walker room this time. So that's tricky. It's going to be in the Walker room at 10 o'clock. Okay, announcements done. Promise. Now we can do our hello song and get started, okay? I learned a new bit of sign language from Mr. Jim and YouTube for our song that I've been singing, I Like You. I love that song, but I didn't know what to do with my hands, so I decided to learn the word for like with my hand. So it kind of goes like this. You put your hand on your chest, and you pull a little invisible string with your fingers, with your middle finger and your thumb, like this. Isn't that neat? I just learned this, so if I'm doing it wrong, I apologize, and I hope somebody will teach me the correct way. I'm going to keep practicing so I can learn new sign language with you guys, because I love that Mr. Jim knows so much. All righty? I like you, there's no doubt about it. I like you, there's no doubt about it. I like you, there's no doubt about it. You are my good friends. And this is friends. And you interlock your fingers. So that's 2 words. You want to try that again? I like you, there's no doubt about it. I like you, there's no doubt about it. I like you, there's no doubt about it. You are my good friends. I'm so glad you guys are here today. Okay, I'm going to go behind the puppet theater. Can you guys count to see how fast I can make it? Are you guys ready? Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Whew. I made it! Yay! How does this feel, guys? I feel like I'm really putting on quite a show. I like it. Feels official behind here. Okay. Memory box. Memory box. Let's see what's in the memory box. Memory box. Memory box. What's inside the memory box? So we're talking about folk tales today. And this is in our memory box. An egg. It's just an egg. No, it's got to remember it. So we have an egg in our box, which means in one of my stories or puppet shows or the book, there's going to be an egg. So when you hear the word egg or you see an egg, you have to go, egg, egg, I found it. You think you can do that? We'll see if we can remember it. It might be the whole story time. It might come at the end. So it's an egg. Oh, there's nothing inside. It's an empty egg. We would. Then it would be a memory egg. Okay, so what was in the memory box? An egg. Okay, can you guys remember? An egg. So the first story I'm going to tell is a German folk tale. Does anybody know what a folk tale is? How is that different from a book or a story? It's special. It is a story that's been told for a long time. Usually it was told with our mouths long before we wrote it down and made pictures. And a lot of times it's very special to the culture that's telling it. So this folktale comes from Germany. So it's a German folktale, and I had never heard this story before, so I thought I would introduce it to you guys. The other stories I'm going to tell are the Three Billy Goats Gruff. Who's heard that story? That one. And I'm going to read a book about a fox. It's another folktale. So I think we're going to have some fun and interesting stories. So once upon a time in a woods, a woodcutter went out to chop down a tree. He came across this really old and gnarled tree, and he thought, perfect, I will chop this one down. But then right before he did, a little man jumped down and said, oh, please, please, please don't chop down this tree. This tree is special, and it's mine, and it's my home. And the woodcutter said, okay, I hear you, and I am not going to chop down your tree. And the elf said, oh, thank you. Because you are being so considerate, and because you are leaving my tree, I am going to grant you 3 wishes. Wow, said the woodcutter, 3 wishes.
Why does it keep doing that?
Because it keeps falling. So the woodcutter went back home, and when he got home, he felt really hungry. And without even thinking, he said, oh, I wish I had a big sausage to eat. And pop came a big sausage. Wow. Oh, wait. I used up a wish on sausage. I have to be very careful with what I say. And at that time, his wife came in, and she said, where did that big sausage come from? And he said, well, I was in the woods, and I met an elf, and I did not cut down his tree, and he gave me 3 wishes, and I accidentally risked sausage with one of them. And she was not very happy. She was like, I wish that sausage would come right on out of your nose. That way everybody would know how silly you are. And pop, the sausage stuck on the woodcutter's nose. So how many wishes have they used? 2. They wished for the sausage, and then she wished for the sausage to come out of his nose. Is that a good use of wishes? No. Now they were really perplexed because he had sausage for a nose, and they had 1 wish left. And his wife said, well, we can't waste another wish. This time we have to wish for gold or diamonds or a castle or a trip, something like that. And he said, no, I don't want this sausage on my nose anymore. We have to wish for the sausage to go away. And she said, but honey, think about it. We can cut the sausage off, and yeah, you'll have a weird nose, but then we'll have so much money, or we'll have such a fancy house. And he said, nope. I wish for the sausage to be off my nose. Pop. And that was the end of their wishes. And they had a lovely sausage dinner together and had to go about the rest of their lives wish-free. The end. Isn't that kind of a silly tale? I don't know what you guys would have used your wishes for, but I don't think I would have wished for sausage to be on my nose. Yeah, I think the lesson of this story is watch what you say and watch what you wish for, right? How many friends love the Little Red Hen? Who's read the Little Red Hen? Well, I have the Little Red Hen as a song. So here is my little red hen. And here are her friends. Her friend is a cat. And the animals need to stay up here with me, friends. And she has a friend who is a dog. Okay? A kitty and a dog. Those are her friends. You can pet all of the friends at the very end of story time, okay? Don't forget about the stand zone if your body's having a hard time sitting. Okay, here it goes. This time, instead of telling you, I'm going to sing it. Oh, remember, not yet, after story time. Okay, we have to make sure all of our friends can see. So this song is being sung to the story, or the song of the 5 Little Ducks. Do you know that tune? A little red hen found wheat one day. She wanted to turn it into bread. She asked her friends if they would help, but no, not I, is all they said. So she had to pick all the wheat by herself. Can you guys pick wheat? Picking the wheat, picking the wheat. She ground the wheat to flour alone, then set out to bake her bread. She asked her friends if they would help, but no, not I, is all they said. Can you guys ground that wheat into flour? Ground it, ground it, ground it, ground it, ground it. She made her dough and baked alone, then sat down and ate her bread. Her friends came around to help her eat, but no, of course not, is all she said. So they didn't help her, did they? So who ate the bread? The little red hen did. And she didn't share. But they didn't help her, did they? Nope, they didn't. So she said, nope, just me. You guys eat your bread? You guys helped, so she's going to share bread with you. Everybody gets a piece of bread. Thank you, little red hen. What's in our memory box? Does anybody remember? An egg. I haven't seen one yet. But keep your eyes open. This next story, I'm going to need some help with. So I'm going to sneak back out and give you guys some maracas. How does that sound? Okay, count to see how fast I get out there. 5. Actually, I lied. It's not maracas. It's the ribbon bells. So everybody can come and get 2 ribbon bells. Once you get your ribbon bells, go back and sit down, okay, friends? They are all the same, so grab 2 quick and go sit back down so all of our friends can get some. Does that sound good?
I got 1.
You got 1? If you just want 1, you can have 1 or you can have 2.
Can I have 2?
Yes, you can. I think I have enough bells for everybody to have 2. So once you have your 2, go sit back down so that other friends. Okay, well, you'll have to wait until you get room. I think we have some spilling on the floor. That's okay. That might make it easier. Everybody can get 2 if they want.
I want 2.
You want 2? I got 2 too. Everybody has their 2 bells? Okay, shake them to make sure they work. Awesome. Do the bells work? Let's try. Raise them. Shake them high. Shake them low. Shake them side to side. Shake them fast. Shake them slow. Okay, so here's what I need the bells for. I'm going to tell the story of the 3 billy goats gruff. And when they go over the bridge, they go trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. So let's see if you guys can do the pattern. Are you ready? Trip, trap, trip, trap, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. Okay, this is tricky, but this is preschool story time. So I'm trusting you guys to listen. Okay, put your bells on your shoulder holders and listen for when it's time to say trip trap. And when it's time to say trip trap, that's when you can go trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. And at the end of the story, we're going to get free bell shaking time, okay? So you're going to have lots of opportunities to shake your bells like crazy. But for the story, because we won't be able to hear, we're just going to go, what are we going to say? Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. Okay, I think you guys have got it. I'm excited to tell this story. This is the story of 3 billy goats grew up, and they lived in a meadow where they had eaten all or most of the grass. And they looked across the bridge to this meadow, which had beautiful flowers and a beautiful apple tree. Oh, you do? I wonder who that is. So they talked about it and they decided, we are going to go and cross the bridge and go to the other meadow and eat and eat and eat and have the best day. So they wanted to see how sturdy the bridge was. So the smallest billy goat decided to cross. So he got ready and he went trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. And all of a sudden out popped a mean, nasty troll. How should I make my voice if I'm being the troll? Should I have this kind of voice? Hi, Billy Goat Gruff. What's the troll voice sound like? Should I have a mean voice like this?
No.
Is that too scary? How about just a voice like this? No, what should my voice sound like? You want a high-pitched voice? Well, I think this troll has kind of a gruff voice, and he says, Billy Goat Gruff, this is my bridge. You're tramping over my bridge, and I'm going to gobble you up. No, not me, said the little billy goat. I'm too small. You don't want to eat me. And like every little brother out there, he said, wait for my other brother. He's coming along. He's much bigger. You would rather eat him. All right, then be off with you, said the troll. So the billy goat went trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap to the meadow. And the troll went back to his hiding spot. Well, next came the middle brother. He was bigger than the smaller brother. And so when he went on the bridge, it really kind of groaned more. So you guys have to really trip, trap. And he went trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. When out popped the troll and he said, hey, who's that tramping over my bridge? It is I, a billy goat gruff. And I'm just going over to the meadow to eat and eat and eat. And he said, well, no, you're not, because I'm going to gobble you up. Oh, no, not me, please. You don't want to eat me. My brother's coming along, and he's much bigger. Wait for him. I am really hungry. All right, well, be off with you then. So away he went, and the goat continued to trip, trap over the bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap, until he made it to the meadow where he could eat and eat and eat. Well, here's what the troll has been waiting for. It's the big brother. He really is going to make the bridge groan when he trips and trap. So I need loud bells. Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. And then out pops the mean troll and he says, who's that tramping over my bridge? It is I, the biggest billy goat gruff, and I'm headed to the meadow where I can eat and eat and eat. No, you're not, because I am going to gobble you up. I have 4 big hooves and 2 big horns. I'd like to see you try. And the troll thought about it, and he looked at that big goat, and he said, never mind, be off with you. And he went back to his hiding spot. And the goat continued to trip, trap over the bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap, trip, trap. Where he ate and ate and ate with his brothers. And they are still there today, eating and eating and eating. The end. Well, thank you guys for being my trip trap. And you have earned some free bell time. So if you want to dance around to some bells, you can. Get your energy out. You can dance. Just watch out for your body and the body of other people, okay? Oh, that's very sweet. Can you guys shake high? Can you shake low? Can you shake to the sides? Can you shake really fast? Can you shake really slow? Can you tiptoe back over to the green basket and put your bells down? Who wants to help me put my bells back? Will you help me put my bells back? Thank you so much. Oh, I had a volunteer. She already said she would do it. Okay. I have another song, and it involves some friends you probably already know. I will wait for everybody to put their bells up, and then I'll show you what I made. Did you guys know that we have 3D printers at the library? We have 3D printers at the library, and so I went and 3D printed some little friends that I could use to tell a story with. Did everybody put their bells away? Everybody put their bells away and sat right back down? Kiss your brains. Thank you. What good listening ears you have. Okay, are you ready to meet my friends that I made on a 3D printer? I made 3 of them. I made this friend. Can you tell what it is?
No.
It's a pig. This is a pig who makes his house out of straw. This is a pig, and what do you think he makes his house out of? Sticks. And then this is a pig, and what do you think he makes his house out of? Bricks. So these are my 3 friends. Are you guys ready for this? I'm actually going to sing this song. Are you ready? And the tune is to, do you guys know that song? This old man, he played one. It's that tune, but it's going to be about this little pig, okay? This little pig, he liked to play. He built his house the easy way with a straw here and a straw there. This little pig just didn't care. So he built a really fast house so that he could keep playing. This little pig, he liked to play. He built his house an easy way with a stick here and a stick there. This little pig just didn't care. Although I think building a house out of straw would be very difficult. So maybe that took more effort than he thought it would. But this little pig, he was smart. He knew his house wouldn't fall apart with a brick here and a brick there. This little pig built a house with care. Now can you guys be the big bad wolves for me? Let me see your big bad wolves. The big bad wolf, he liked to eat. Little pigs are a special treat. Can you do it from your spots? I want to see how hard you can blow. With a huff, 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 and a puff, puff, puff. Can you and puff, and huff, and puff. And he blew the straw house down. And this little pig had to run to his brother. Okay. The big bad wolf, he gets to the stick house with a huff, huff, puff, puff, huff, puff, whoo, and it blew his house down and he had to run to his brother's house. But one brick house standing tall, the big bad wolf couldn't make it fall. With the huff, 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 puff, puff, and a mighty cry, surrender, wolf, and say bye-bye, bye-bye. Bye-bye, big bad wolf. No, these are mine that I made in the CFI. So this is just an example of things you can make here at the library. Isn't that so cool? So when you guys get older, or if your parents know how to use a 3D printer, you can come and make these for free. So that is so exciting. Okay, what's in our memory box again? Eggs. Okay. I haven't seen an egg yet. Have you guys? Did we miss it? I don't think I've seen one. Well, maybe we'll see one in the story. Pay close attention, okay? This book is called One Fine Day by Nani Harrigan, and it is very much like a typical folk tale. Yes, we have our egg in the memory box, but I want to see if we can see an egg in the story. Okay, listen to see if you can figure out what the fox learned. One fine day, a fox traveled through a great forest. When he reached the other side, he was very thirsty. He saw a pail of milk that an old woman had set down while she gathered wood for her fire. Before she noticed the fox, he had lapped up most of the milk. Uh-oh, was that his? Did he ask? Do you think the witch or the old woman is going to be happy? The woman became so angry that she grabbed her knife and chopped off his tail. And the fox began to cry, "Please, old woman, give me back my tail. Sew it in place or all my friends will laugh at me. Give me back my milk," she said, "and I'll give you back your tail." How's he going to do that? I don't know. So the fox dried his tears, and he went to find a cow. That's a good place to get milk, yeah? "Dear cow," he begged, "please give me some milk so I can give it to the old woman so she will sew my tail in place." The cow replied, "Moo, I'll give you some milk if you bring me some grass." That's pretty easy. You could probably find that, right? The fox called to the field, "Oh, beautiful field, give me some grass. I'll take it to the cow, and she'll give me some milk. Then I'll take the milk to the old woman so she will sew my tail in place, and I can return to my friends." The field called back, "Bring me some water." Okay. The fox ran to the stream and begged for some water, and the stream said, "Bring me a jug." The fox found a fair maiden. "Sweet maiden," he said, "please give me your jug so I can fetch some water to give to the field, to get some grass, to feed the cow, to get some milk, to give to the old woman, to sew my tail in place so I can return to my friends." The maiden smiled. "If you find a blue bead for me," she said, "I will give you my jug." So the fox found a peddler and said, "There is a pretty maiden down the road, and if you give me one of your blue beads for her, she'll be pleased with you and pleased with me. Then she'll give me her jug so I can fetch some water, to give the field, to give to some grass, to feed the cow, to get some milk, to give to the old woman, to sew my tail into place." But the peddler was not taken in by the promise of a pretty smile or the cleverness of the fox, and he replied, "Pay me an egg, and I'll give you a bead." The fox went off and found a hen. "Hen, dear hen, please give me an egg to give to the peddler in payment for the bead, to get the jug, to fetch the water, to give the field, to get some grass, to feed the cow, to get the milk, so that I can get the old woman so she'll give me my tail." And the hen clucked, "I'll trade you an egg for some gain." Egg! Did anybody else hear the word egg? Egg! The fox was getting desperate, and when he found the miller, he began to cry. "Oh, kind miller, please give me a little grain. I have to trade it for the egg, to pay the peddler, to get the bead, to give the maiden in return for her jug, to fetch the water, to give the field, to get the grass, to feed the cow, to get the milk, to give to the old woman so she will sew my tail into place and my friends won't laugh at me." The miller was a good man and felt sorry for the fox, so he gave him the grain to give to the hen to get the egg, to pay the peddler to get the bead. To give to the maiden, to get the jug, to fetch the water, to give to the field, to get the grass, to feed the cow, to get the milk, to give to the old woman. And what's the old woman going to give him? His tail back. The fox returned to the old woman and gave her the milk. Then she carefully sewed his tail into place. And off he ran to join his friends at the other side of the forest. The end. That was a really hard memory box because it wasn't that you had to see an egg. You had to hear the word egg. So kudos to you guys. Kiss your brains. We found the memory box item. We learned about some fun folk tales. We read some cool stories. We sang some cool songs. Now, story time looks like about over. So I wanted to tell you about the craft today. I have two crafts. The first craft is you can get a billy goat scruff, and all the pieces are together in one packet. So you can pick if you want a big gray one, a medium tan one, or this little dark brown one. And you can put the stickers together, and you can take this home. And grown-ups, there are magnets in a blue basket on the high counter. So out of reach. If you want to make it a fridge magnet, you can. But I also have the story parts of a 3 Billy Goats Gruff. There's a bridge, a troll, and 3 goats. You can color them and cut them out and put them on craft sticks, and then you can tell everybody your version of the 3 Billy Goats Gruff. So we can practice our storytelling so we can be folk tells too. How does that sound? Storytellers. So you can do 2 crafts, or if you want to just take this one to do at home later, you can. If you just want to focus on the puppets, or you can just do the puppets, or you can just do the goats. Let's start with 1 goat and then see if there are any left over. I don't think there's enough for everybody to take all 3 goats, okay? So just pick your favorite goat, and then you can make all 3 goats so you can tell your story. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah! Well, thanks for sitting. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming here today. Now that story time is over, hope you have a lovely day. All righty, friends, we can go into the craft room.